explicitly. You owe it to yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dreams. Living life is Stae. Hey, hey. Living life is Stae. Hey, hey. Living life is Stae. Hey, hey. Living life is Stae. Hey, hey.
You know what? Hey, y'all. Happy Friday. I was on mute once again. I am so bad with that. But yeah, it's Friday, the beginning of the weekend for most of us, a super exciting day for most of us. And I ain't mad about it. I really try to convince people not to dread Mondays, because Mondays are like a great day, a new fresh start to the week. But I ain't mad when you love Friday, because Friday hopefully is leading into some fun, some relaxation, and some self-care. So y'all know I'm all about all of those things. So if you're a can't wait till Friday, I'm all right with that. But y'all, welcome to March Madness. We are going strong. I am absolutely loving it. And I feel like I'm really picking up momentum as we go along every day. Instead of things slowing down or me getting drained, I actually get more excited each and every day. Like, oh my gosh, I get to go live again, because I do indeed count it as a privilege. So yeah, happy Friday, happy March Madness. I'm your girl, Stae Hall. For those of you who may be tuning in for the first time, I am a life coach, L.Y.F.E, love yourself first explicitly, meaning that everything I coach, I teach is going to have the foundation of self-love, because I truly believe if you don't have that self-love, if you're not tapped in to loving yourself, hey, she is Sunshine. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Friday. If you're not tapped into that self-love, then it's going to make it very difficult for you to love anyone else. 100% authentically, genuinely, it's going to make it difficult for you to be passionate about anything. And so everything is about self-love. I'm also a certified soft skills and emotional intelligence coach, a published author, a transformational speaker, a mom, a maymay, and a wife. And so let me introduce myself to those of you, hey, Laquita, to those of you who may be tuning in for the first time. But yeah, March Madness is doing its thing. And so I put up a poll for what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And it looks like living life as an empty nester and navigating that empty nester lifestyle is what we're going to be talking about. However, I may need to put something out there to postpone that or do it differently, just because we're taking a quick road trip out of town and I don't know what my situation is going to be at 7. But y'all stay tuned. And no matter what happens, still, whatever wins on the poll is going to be the next thing that I'm talking about. So if you have not cast your vote already, just go to the community tab on YouTube. And so for those of you who watch on Facebook, remember that YouTube is where you get 100% full participation. So make sure you do that. Just got a text. My grandbabies are on the way. My grand minis, they're going to be coming over, at least 2 of them, to visit me. So I was excited when I saw that text. They are on the way. And so anyway, with all of that out of the way, and there was something else in my head that I wanted to mention to y'all, but I talked about something else. So just as quick as it came in, it left. So we're just going to move on to the regularly scheduled program. Hey, God's desire for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I absolutely love seeing everybody's face in the place. So today we're going to talk about the subject of redefining support, recognizing and appreciating different forms of support. And so this topic is not a one part of your life type of topic. This support we need in every aspect in our life, right? We need support from our spouses and our significant others. We need support when it comes to work. We need support as content creators. However, what I want to talk about is the fact that, and y'all hear me mention this all the time, sometimes we have unfair expectations of people, and we have an idea in our mind of the kind of support that we like. But again, the key words are in our mind. We have an idea of what support is going to look like for us. And excuse me if y'all can hear that air fryer in the back. Wallace and I haven't eaten yet, so I got some wings going in the air fryer so we can eat as soon as I jump off. So excuse the background noise if you can hear it, because I know sometimes background picks up louder than the actual whatever you're supposed to hear. So anyway, we want support to look like. We know the kind of support we need, and we just expect people to A, either be mind readers, or B, we have the expectation that they're capable of giving us the kind of support that we desire and we may need. And that's not always fair. And just because someone may not be supporting you in the way that you hope that they would, the way that you expected they would, because again, that word expect and expectations, that's a tricky thing. Like, we need to only have expectations of ourselves. And even with that, every once in a while, we're not even able to live up to our own expectations, right? Because things happen, there's circumstances, things change, or maybe we're just not capable for whatever reason of doing whatever it was that we had that expectation of ourselves. So if our expectation was to go to college, get that 4-year degree, move on into a PhD program, master's program, whatever, and then life start life, and maybe you ended up getting married at 23, where that was never really a part of your plan, but you fell in love, you met that wonderful guy, that wonderful woman, and you decided to get married, you had children. So your expectation did not happen exactly the way you planned. Doesn't mean that it'll never happen, but it didn't happen in that plan. So I say that to say that if our expectations of ourselves can change, and we can't even guarantee it 100% that whatever we expected out of ourselves to accomplish or do, then how much more does it not make sense to have expectations of other people? Because we also have to have grace and realize that their life be life and too. And we can't always know what other people are capable of doing, even though it may seem, because that's another word too people use. Well, it seemed like, well, seem means unsure. Seem just means like this is what it looked like on the surface. So it may seem like they're able to support us in a certain way with their time, with their finances or whatever, but maybe they can't. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today, because I feel like sometimes in life, people get unfair judgment put on them because they're not supporting someone in the way that they expected. And so, for instance, if you have some sort of product or service that you sell, and your main goal in growing your business is to get people to buy your products and services. And I know a lot of us probably have dealt with this in the past if you've ever been into any multi-level marketing type of stuff. And so you have this product and service, and someone has sold you on it, right? And so you think it's the best thing since sliced bread, and you automatically assume that you know this person, this person, this person, and this person who are going to absolutely love this product and service too. And because of the relationship that you have with them, because of the place that they hold in your life, you expect them to purchase. Hey, thank you for tuning in, Brenda. You expect them to purchase this product or service. And so you do what all the multi-level marketing gurus tell you to do. You make that list, you start making those phone calls, and you decide that these are going to be my first customers. Y'all, please ignore the dog. The doorbell just rang. Is that the kids? Oh, wow, they got here quick. So we'll see how this live goes, y'all. So anyway, you just assume that those products and services are definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, going to be sold to these 10 people that you have identified, and you have that expectation. Then you go a step further and say, and I know at least these 4 are going to buy into the business, and they are going to be a partner with me. And so you start making your phone calls, sending your texts, sending your emails, doing all the thing. Hey, sugar mama, you want to come say hi to the people? No, you don't want to say hi to the people? Okay, that's my sugar mama. But you start doing all the things, and you're not getting the responses that you expected. However, getting to the point of how support can look different is maybe those people aren't able to do it for financial reasons, time commitments, or whatever, but they don't have a problem referring some other people to you that do result in a sale or a partnership. Well, that's support too. Hey, Vonda, I'm glad you made it. Thank you. But that's support as well. Them referring you to other people, that's support. If they agree to post your business on their social media, that is support. Maybe they say, no, I can't join you in the business, but I can purchase something. That is support. Guess what is also support? Them just having a conversation with you and pouring into you and telling you how proud they are of you that you've gone out on this venture. And they're there to support you, meaning if you ever need a shoulder to cry on, if you ever need someone to vent to, if things aren't going that way, I'm here. That is still support. And I don't want us to ever discount someone's support just because it didn't come wrapped in the package that we expected, because that is unfair. Even if someone has told you, look, if you ever open a business, if you ever start doing the thing, I'm going to be your number one customer. Well, you might not start doing that thing, and I'm not even going to put a long time frame on it. You might not start doing that thing for 2 weeks, because how many of us know life can change in 2 weeks? You can lose your job in 2 weeks and you had no idea. You can have something catastrophic happen in your life that you weren't expecting and you have no idea. And so now whatever support that is that you offered, you can no longer do it because your circumstances have changed. And so I've just been hearing a lot with different people. And as I've been speaking, and especially in Women's History Month, like y'all, literally today is the first day this week that I've not had some sort of speaking engagement or some sort of training to facilitate. And so I've been talking to a lot of people throughout the week. And one of the things that I have heard from them is that I just don't get the support that I expected. And so another thing that you'll hear me talk about a lot is verbalizing things and having those crucial conversations. And so we've already discussed how sometimes people may promise support or we expect certain support, and maybe their circumstances changed and they haven't been able to do it, or we just had that unfair expectation. And so it lies on us to communicate that, right? How are you going to walk away, go to bed at night, go through the rest of your day, the rest of your life or something, or whatever, rather, being upset with someone for not giving you something that you never asked them for because you assumed? So that's another word. I want us to identify these words. And if anybody's taking notes and it's really something that's hitting home for them, identify the words. Expectation. Not fair. Seems is uncertain. So you say it seems like they should be able to support you. Once you say that word seem, then there's nothing definite about that. And so there's certain words that you have to think, was there a definite in that? And I forget the last word that I just said, so I hope that y'all remember it. But you want to have that conversation because you assume because you're my bestie from way back, because you're my mama, because you're my cousin, because we were co-workers just like this. We assume that they're going to give the support. And so when you assume and you realize that you assume, because sometimes we'll say it, well, I just assumed that they would do that. Again, big question mark, assume. If you haven't gotten any solid confirmation from someone that they're going to do whatever it is, then that's on you. And so that's where these crucial and critical conversations come into play, where if you're really feeling some type of way because your expectations aren't being met, there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying, hey, sis, hey, bro, when I first entered into this venture, and again, no matter what it is, like we're talking about a business, but it could be going back to school, it can be whatever, and you can say to them, I really needed a certain level of support from you and I didn't get it. However, and I always like to start these kind of conversations with putting the onus on us, because looking in the mirror and realizing the part that we played and holding ourselves accountable is so important when we're communicating our thoughts and feelings with other people. And so you want to say something like, I know it was unfair for me to expect that from you without having the conversation and knowing that you're not a mind reader, but I just kind of let my emotions get in the way and I just went off of the assumption. And so I just wanted to have this conversation with you to let you know what kind of support I would like to have from you and just get a clear understanding to find out if that is something that you're capable of doing or not. But I just didn't want to feel some type of way and let this move on into the future without us having a conversation. And those types of conversations are so eye-opening. They can be relationship saving if we just have the courage to ask them, because so many times we get upset with people. We hold this malice in our hearts. Our feelings are hurt, because I know if y'all are anything like me, you can make me mad all day. I can get over mad like that. But if my feelings are hurt, that's a whole different ball of wax. And so I try to communicate with people in such a way so that my feelings aren't hurt. And so sometimes we walk around with hurt feelings, unforgiveness, being upset, and all these things with people. And they have no idea why. They have no idea what you're upset about, because in their minds, and rightfully so, in this case, they haven't done anything to you. You had an unfair expectation. You just felt like whenever you started whatever this is in your life, let's take it out of business and make it personal. Maybe you've just recently gotten a divorce and you just have expected your good girlfriend to call and check up on you every day, to call and get updates on the status. However, like in a case like with me, I'm not the type of person who enjoys being checked up on a regular when I have something going on, because I don't want to have to keep revisiting that all the time. And so, as y'all know, they say treat people the way you would want to be treated. And sometimes we do that and it's a negative, because I don't want all those phone calls. I don't do it to someone else, not realizing that that's what they want. But instead, a person can get upset and start counting the days. Yeah, see, I ain't heard from her since Tuesday. That's what I mean. If she was a real girlfriend, she would be checking on me. She knows what I'm going through. But did you give that expectation? And it's not fair to judge the level of someone's friendship, the level of their loyalty, the level of their love based on an unfair expectation. Let me get in these comments. So God's desire for me says, my hubby taught me the art and value of good communication, and we have had a wonderful relationship. Yes, I love that. Yeah, my husband has taught me a lot of things too, because I definitely came into the relationship not as open as I am now at all. He probably hates the fact that he's taught that to me. I don't know about your husband, but now I just let him know everything. But I used to be the type, I would keep my feelings to myself. I wouldn't say a lot because I didn't want to bother him, or I would think certain things were stupid, but he taught me that as well. So I absolutely love that for you. Hey, Tapped In, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. But yeah, we have to have those conversations and make our expectations known, because an expectation that's just in your mind, that's all it is. It's something you thought, that seemed, you expected, whatever, but you have no idea if that person even knows that. And again, if that's not how they communicate, if that's not the way they feel loved and supported, that's why the whole thing as far as love languages. And I know when we talk about love languages, most of the time we're talking about the relationship between a husband and a wife, or a seriously committed or romantic relationship. But if you can have a love language as a wife, you have a love language as a friend as well. And I have different friends who have different love languages. There are some friends who are like, you don't never have to call me, whatever, but just make sure you send me a gift on Christmas and we touch base once in a while. And there's other friends who are like, you don't never have to buy me nothing. Just check up on me every couple of weeks, whatever it is, but we have to find that. And some people's love language, even in the friendships, they like time, they like affection, they like that, to know that you're there. They want to hear from you. We got Facebook user. I hate when that happens. Let me see if Facebook is going to show me who it is. Y'all know Facebook and YouTube and them don't be playing good together. And it absolutely breaks my heart when I see Facebook user popping up, and Facebook isn't even letting me see. So Facebook user, whoever said, so true. And the praise hands and hearts, if that's the same person, please drop in the comments and tell me who you are, because social media ain't doing this thing. Wait, I think I know. It's Chrissy. Hey, boo. Happy Friday. I had to refresh a couple of times. Okay. Thank you so much for being here, Chrissy. I appreciate you so much. You are such a beautiful spirit. I love that. So glad that we have crossed paths. Tapped in says, Stae, every time I see you, I want to call you my good friend's name. The two of you could pass for sisters, and she's smart like you as well. Well, thank you so much. That's a wonderful compliment. Thank you so much. Chrissy laughing at me. And I get that a lot as far as people just saying that I look like a family member or a friend. I've actually had in a grocery store one time, somebody walk up to me and just start talking. And they were just like, Tiffany, and I'm just looking, and then it dawned on them. They kind of looked harder and was like, Tiffany, and they thought I was a whole cousin. So that is so funny. I just have one of them faces. But yeah, people have different love languages, and those love languages go beyond the romantic relationship. If your love language is gifts, your love language is gifts. If your love language is physical touch, your love language is physical touch. And y'all might be like, wait a minute, what you mean physical touch, with just my friends? But some people, like when people come up and say, I'm a hugger, and it's like, but some people aren't. Yeah, it was Tiffany. And I'm sorry, y'all heard the baby and the dog running around. Y'all, so unprofessional. But it's Friday, so I'm in my May mode, but I still was going to show up for March Madness. That's my commitment. So yeah, the baby running around. She ain't want to come say hi to y'all, but she don't mind y'all hearing her, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, love languages transcend those romantic relationships. And so we just have to be clear. And so, like I said, the physical touch, some people are huggers, some people aren't. When it comes to gifts, when it comes to quality time, I look like your cousin too. That is so funny. And I'm telling you, when I say I get that, see, it said Facebook user over here. Then I look, it is my cousin Rhonda. Well, of course I look like your cousin. Yes, and we look alike. Yes, cousins. That's so funny. I hate when it says Facebook user, and I just assumed it was still Chrissy saying that. But anyway, hey, cousin Rhonda, thank you so much for being here, and I am glad to look like your cousin. But whatever it is you carry, I tell people all the time, we talk about the different hats we wear and the different positions we might have. So we're mom, we're wife, we're CEO, we're teacher, we're whatever it is that we are, and the different things. We're board member. However, there's still only one us. And so it's the same Stae I carry with me everywhere. And so my mindset, my likes, my dislikes, they're not really going to change depending upon what hat I happen to be wearing at any given time. Hey, wellness, thank you so much for being here. And so I'm still going to be me. So the things that make me feel supported are going to make me feel supported no matter what hat I'm wearing. And so I just think that when it comes to us feeling like we're not being supported, our expectations aren't being met, before we write people off, before we get upset, before we have an attitude, let's think about the fact that we never communicated that with them. And if you are not comfortable with having those conversations, that's fine. I'm never here to tell anybody what to do. All I am doing is just lending my advice, my experiences to help you navigate some of these things a little bit easier. However, if it's something you don't feel comfortable in doing, then don't do it. But I would also say, then also do not have your feelings hurt and your panties all in a bunch and being mad when you don't get what you expected if you've never verbalized that or asked for it. And that's just what's fair. I don't know if y'all agree with that, because I know a lot of people will say, but it's my mom, it's my best friend. Hey, Sabrina, thank you so much for being here. And so I should be able to expect that from them, but not necessarily. And, whatever is going on with us, of course, always seems to be the most pressing thing, right? Because it's us, it's our life, our business, our family, our whatever. But you have to also, let me take a sip, realize that they have families too, and they have jobs, and they have businesses, and maybe, just maybe, You're not always top of mind for them because they busy dealing with the other stuff. And then you also have to consider the fact that maybe you don't always support them the way that they expect either, which is absolutely fine because guess what? We're all human. We're all different. We all err. None of us are perfectionists. None of us are mind readers. I mean, I know that there are some people out there who claim to be mind readers. It hasn't been proven to me yet. So I'm just going to feel confident in saying none of us are mind readers. Okay, Vonda says, when you care about a person, you want to learn what a person's love language is. Your friends, your mate. Everyone is different. If you love them, then you'll figure it out. Absolutely. And I love the fact that you said figure it out, because sometimes you don't even have to. It's another conversation. If you feel any type of tension in the friendship, in the relationship, or if you know someone is going through something traumatic in their life, or they're starting something new in their life, business, extended education, whatever, guess what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with telling them, I want to be there for you to the best of my ability. So let me know how I can best support you. Have you ever thought about that? You can just ask. So the same way you can go to someone and say, hey, this is the type of support that I need from you if you're able to give it to me. Hey, almost homesteading. Hey, Janet, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. But the same way you can ask them or let them know what you need, you can also ask them. When I tell y'all communication, and I know y'all heard it before, it's nothing new. I know y'all have heard it before. Communication is key. Communicating your needs and asking clarifying questions. If you could get yourself to the point where you are an effective communicator, meaning say what you mean what you say, ask for what you expect, communicate your feelings. If your feelings get hurt, say so. If you're upset, say so. Because that stuff, getting mad, walking away, not speaking to people, putting subliminal messages on social media, talking to other people about a situation with someone else. Now, if you're needing to get advice or whatever, that's fine as well, because, you know, I always tell you, your business is your business. Just because it concerns someone else doesn't mean that you're not allowed to talk about it. But what I'm saying is talking about it with no intentions on talking to the other person, that's not really ever going to be beneficial. That's not ever going to get any problem solved. So being an effective communicator means that I communicate my feelings, my emotions, my wants and needs in such a way that people understand what it is that I'm communicating to them. And if they don't, I make them feel comfortable enough with me to ask clarifying questions. And on the reverse, it means that if I am unsure about someone who I care about and their wants and their needs and their expectations and emotions and feelings towards me, I don't have a problem asking clarifying questions. How can I make this better? What is it that you need from me? How can I best communicate this with you? If you don't like the way I say this or do this, then what will work for you? And it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean that you kissing up. It doesn't mean any of that. All it means is that you care about that person enough in your relationship enough to have the conversation. There are so many relationships, including marriages, that have broken up and people not speaking and people being mad, and they've never had the conversation. They just let stuff go until it builds up and they can't take it anymore, or they're so upset and they're not feeling heard, they're not feeling valued. And that's the thing that we say a lot now, and I'm guilty of it. I use it a lot. You want to feel heard. However, it's hard to feel heard when you ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just your presence is not enough necessarily for somebody to hear you. And you say, well, they've known me for so many years. Well, you know what? Just like you change, they change. So you can't just leave it up to time and the position they have in your life to think that they know. Let's see. Clearly communicating is slowly changing my life as I learn to do it better. Well, I'm glad because it's definitely the key to solving a lot of issues in relationships. And on the flip side of the communicating, verbally and speaking your piece and asking your clarifying questions. Another big part of that communication is actively listening, and listening to understand and not listening to respond, and listening with the intention of remembering, because sometimes people don't feel supported because maybe they have communicated to you what they need to feel supported and what their expectation is from you based on the relationship, and that person wasn't present enough in the conversation, wasn't intentional enough in the conversation. I shared with y'all, I think it was yesterday, about my sister and I, and the fact that she said that sometimes the way I respond to her when she says things, and I'm like, that's ridiculous, that doesn't make any sense, and I'm quick with her, it makes her feel some kind of way. But I shared with y'all as well that she has mentioned it to me in the past, but I was not listening intently enough. I wasn't really listening to understand. It was kind of like it went one in one ear and out the other, because it wasn't serious to me, or I wasn't taking it seriously or thinking that she was really trying to communicate something with me. And so it wasn't until the other day where the light bulb just went off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you have mentioned that before, but it just wasn't a big deal to me. And she let me know yesterday too that it wasn't really that big of a deal, y'all. She was like, you don't really make me feel some kind of way. I think it's kind of funny, but again, I still know, and I'm more cognizant of doing that, but it's not like she hadn't mentioned it before. And I will tell y'all, I am never afraid to look in the mirror. I'm never afraid to share with y'all. I am completely candid. I don't mind being vulnerable. I don't mind admitting when I've made mistakes, because one thing for sure is, even though I am the expert, and I do believe I'm an expert in these things, I'm excellent at what I do, I've done the work, I'm still human. And I still have relationships where I can do some work. I still sometimes don't practice what I preach. It's not intentional, but one thing about me for sure is when things are brought to my attention, I'm going to analyze those things. I'm going to do some soul searching and think, because again, too, I'm never going to tell y'all that every single time somebody tells y'all something's wrong and you need to change something, that you need to change it. That's not true either. But if you're self-aware, you'll know when you're doing something that is maybe not, that cool, or you get relaxed in certain relationships and you behave a different way. And so you always want to be in agreement with changes that you're being asked to make. Don't just change yourself and work on certain things about your personality only because someone said that, because that's another thing. And I don't think we ever have a conversation when I don't end up telling y'all to beware of manipulation and narcissistic personalities, because they will have you jumping through hoops, doing the limbo, bending over backwards, and doing everything to be a completely different person. I'm not asking you to be a builder person. I'm not a builder, Stae, but I am open to constructive criticism, opportunities for growth, because I am so clear about the fact that I'm not perfect, and no amount of certifications, courses, education, whatever is going to make me perfect. And so I can sit here one day and tell y'all, and whatever I tell y'all, it's going to be true. It's going to be a very good way to handle situations. But that don't mean I might tell y'all today, don't do this, don't do that, and then I turn around and possibly do it tomorrow, because I'm not perfect. But what I tell you is going to be true. Absolutely. We're all human. No one is perfect. And that's sometimes how we get in our own heads too, right? When we talked about imposter syndrome, the fact that we have this perfectionist mentality that we're not supposed to make any mistakes. And, no, none of us are perfect. And so y'all know I be all over the place, but we can tie it back in. But when people are communicating with you what their needs are and their expectations, just listen intently. Listen in order to be able to truly understand, and don't let it just be like, oh, whatever, that's just my sister, she just saying that. No, if people are taking the time to mention something to you and have that conversation with you and share their feelings and their expectations, they're serious, because those conversations definitely don't do that person and your relationship a disservice by not being fully present in the conversation. And again, even if it's something that you didn't notice that you do and you felt like you were supporting them to the best of your ability, then express that. And so then maybe you all can have a meeting of the minds and be able to almost compromise. Like, look, you want me to call you every other day. My time just doesn't permit me to do that. And it's not that I don't care about you. It's not that I don't love you. But how about we just talk twice a week and I text you twice a week, And again, just little things that are coming off the top of my head. But that's just something where I know has been a struggle for me, where I don't communicate with some of my friends as much as they would like me to communicate. And they feel like they're always having to reach out to me. And I had to be more intentional about that, because me, on the other hand, I'm never thinking about, oh, well, I haven't heard from such and such in a while. And the last time we talked, or the last 3 times we talked, I had to reach out to them. I just don't think about it because I'm not a big communicator in that way. Like I'm not a big phone person or just because text, but I'm not judging anybody who is. So I made a point with certain people that I need to be intentional about reaching out. And if I haven't heard from them in a certain amount of time, no matter what I have going on or whatever, I'm going to make the time to call. Then there's other friends who know my personality and whatever, and couldn't care less. They like, look, if I want to talk to you every day, I'm going to just call you every day. It don't matter if you call me or not, or I'm going to just shoot you a text. I'm going to do whatever. But again, different strokes for different folks. But I didn't say, and one of my biggest pet peeves is when you say, that's just how I am. Now, again, I'm not telling you to bend over backwards and change every single thing about yourself. But if it's somebody that you love and you trust and you know that their requests of you are not something that is out of the scope of imagination, when you know it's not someone who's trying to manipulate you and you use that discernment, saying that's just how I am is almost the equivalent of saying, I don't care about your feelings enough to change that. Because when it's something as small as, hey, just shoot me a text. Hey, just give me a call. Hey, just touch base with me and let me know when you have new things going on in your life. Because that's another issue that I've had with, my sister and some other friends. I'm just always go, do. I'll start these projects. I'm telling y'all know how I am. I'll start a new business in a heartbeat, and I'm doing things and I run with it, and something will happen and they'll be like, why didn't you tell me that you were doing this? I could have supported you, or I would like to know, or I felt bad when, I think we're so close and we talk all the time. And the first I know that you wrote a new book or do something is because I see it on social media. And so I've had to apologize and say, it's never intentional. For those that are in my close circle and my family unit who I talk to on a regular basis, I'm not trying to hide anything. It's not that I don't trust you with the information. It's just that I'm always so on the go. I don't even think about, oh, let me share this. They might be interested in this. And a part of me just thinks I do so much and I'm on the go so much and always trying something new in this venture and that venture. And I'm always also thinking, they ain't caring about that. They just like, that's just Stae. That's what she does. But I've had a couple of people tell me that it's made them feel some kind of way when I don't share. So I try to be more intentional. I haven't blown it off and like, you know what, that's silly. That wouldn't bother me, because again, what won't bother me doesn't mean that you don't have a right to let it bother you, because there's going to be some things that bother me that don't bother you, and I'm going to want you to take them seriously. And so instead of blowing it off, I am more intentional. Like if I'm doing something, I remember to tell certain people. And if I don't remember to tell them and it comes out, I'm just like, I'm trying. I apologize. Like I don't blow people's feelings off, because for so long in my life, I felt that my feelings were never considered. I felt like I was a person where people thought nothing bothered me, just because I had this tough exterior or whatever and didn't say much. I just felt like nobody ever really cared how I felt or how what they said to me or how they acted ever affected me. And because of that reason, I will not ever be the one to do that to someone else. And so I consider other people's feelings and I do the best that I can without, completely stressing myself out, because as much as I say that's just how I am is not a thing, it's also you are who you are. And so every once in a while, when you're trying to make a change and do something different and be different, there are going to be those times where you kind of slip back into old behaviors. Like I said, it's the whole thing of wearing the retainer after you get the braces off. You have to constantly be doing things to make sure that you are in alignment with what you've promised. Let's see. Janice said, I'm similar. I get busy doing things that need to be done and don't always remember to communicate with people. Yeah, I do things. And like I said, and a lot of times I'm not even thinking that anybody would care. And I'm not even upset about that. I know I do a lot. I have events almost every day. I have several businesses. I am involved with several organizations. I don't expect everybody to be interested in that, so I don't even think about it. But the fact that they are really makes me feel good. And I love the fact and appreciate the fact that they're interested. And if you want to know, then I'm definitely going to let you know and involve you as much as I can. Who has the time to keep track? Communication should not be a competition. Folks take things too far sometimes, and they can. However, I just think, again, that's when we have to use our discernment and know, are they coming from a place of just trying to manipulate me or make me feel bad? Or is it the fact that my lack of communication and reaching out just makes them question their place in my life? And so that's why I kind of try to meet people halfway. And I know one person who mentioned it to me before. It was that they thought that maybe I was upset with them about something, because they're like, whenever I call, you're really busy, and then I never hear from you, or you say you're going to call me back in a couple of days and you don't. And so they were just wondering, like, hey, have I done something and you don't want to communicate? And so that's why that discernment comes in, when we need to know the people who are communicating these things with us and sharing these types of things. Are they trying to be manipulative, or is it really just something that's been bothering them? So I just applaud people for saying it. But I also, again, meet me halfway. I may not meet the mark every single time, but don't just, like they say, don't throw the baby away with the bathwater. If I need a reminder, like, hey, I ain't heard from you. I called you 10 times, and again, it depends on the relationship and the importance that relationship is to you and how much people are coming. Now, there's also been people, I've shared this with people before. I had a friendship where we were friends. So I thought we were good, like not the best of friends, but we hung out. We would go out to dinner. We would talk every once in a while. But every time I would talk to this person, and even like if they would call me to ask me to go out, it would always turn into like, you're not really calling me just to hang out. You're calling to chastise me and put me in my place about something I didn't do. I didn't check up on you enough. I didn't ask you. I knew that, you got a new puppy, and I didn't ask how the puppy's doing. I knew that your kids had the flu in October, and I never called to check on the kids or send chicken noodle soup. And, it was just always something. I just felt like I was disappointing this person all the time. And I realized, like, the first couple of times I kind of felt bad, because again, when you're a person like me who has a thicker skin, you're a person who doesn't need a whole lot of attention, and just, I'm just a little different. I'm a little quirky. Like, I'm me, I'm doing my own thing. I really don't pay attention. People can bring certain things to you and use your kind of rough exterior in a way to make you feel guilty, because I was so used to maybe being the tough girl, the less emotional friend, the less needy or clingy friend, that sometimes people would bring things to me and I would automatically be like, my bad, because it's always me, right? I'm the one who doesn't call. I'm not the woo emotional. I'm not the just checking on you person. But I realized with this person, dang girl, all I do is disappoint you. I am never showing up for you as a friend the way you need me to show up for you. So maybe we're just not compatible as friends, because I have tried to be there for you. I thought I was being there for you. But if I'm still, after all this time, every time we get together, you have some complaint about something I didn't do or didn't say, and this was the type of friend that would send just because cards in the mail, which that's cute or whatever, but I don't do that, or just make sure because, it's the birthday, I'm going to, that's just not me. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. I don't care about you. But I would try to do certain things for this friend. But it just got to be too much. And I had a breakup in a friendship because I had that crucial conversation. And it was kind of like, I'm sorry I haven't been able to meet your expectations as a friend, but at this point, it is literally wearing me out. And clearly, it's not working for you. And I don't want you to keep having these conversations with me. And at this point, it is going in one ear and out the other because I don't know what to do. And they thought I was so mean for that. But I'm like, girl, it's too much. And I'm not mad, but I just don't want that every single time we talk to each other, you got something else on the list of what I didn't do. Yes, very dependent, needy. And yeah, that was a whole different thing. It was just like, and there was always so much. And in this particular friendship too, I didn't call and check or whatever. And in that period of time that I didn't call and check, there was always something catastrophic that had happened in their life. And had I only called and checked, I would have known. And I'm like, but why couldn't you just call and tell me? So you got all this going on in your life and you're not sharing with me, but then you're going to blame me because yeah, well, I hadn't heard from you in 2 months, but yeah, in that 2-month span, I grew a third eye and you know what I mean? Whatever. My house was zapped up by Martians and yeah, but you hadn't called me. And it's like, really? If you needed me to know that, you could have told me. Oh, that is not a friendship that honors you. Right. And I am so into, I don't ever do the measurements of 50-50 and whatever, because we're always going to be in a different place at different times. And so sometimes in a friendship, just like in a romantic relationship, one person's going to be given 40 and the other person can only give 60. And that's fine. But there should be a give and take. You need to be in friendships and relationships that honor you, that pour into you, relationships and friendships that serve you. And it's something that I have had to sometimes explain to people because they're like, a relationship that serves me. What does that mean? It means that the relationship literally serves you. It brings you joy. You get something out of it. Not that that's one-sided. The other person in the relationship should feel the same way. But especially at this big age, I don't have time for all that. I need my relationships to be as easy as possible, to kind of run on autopilot. When we do have to have the crucial conversations, we have the conversations, we understand each other, and we can just keep it moving. I don't want to have to continue to revisit stuff and be walking on eggshells, because at this time in our lives, there are going to be things that happen. We have older parents who may get sick and die. We have grown children who are going to start going through things in their lives. And that's what I want to spend my energy supporting my friends through, not that petty mess at all. Let's see. Rhonda laughing at me, girl, too much. No, because sometimes you need more and sometimes they need more, but they should love the things that naturally get. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing about being there for one another and having those conversations. You don't have that type of pettiness, and you just know, hey, when you going through something, I'm 10 toes down, and vice versa. Hilarious. Hope that ain't me. Say, girl, no, it is not you at all. You are, yeah, our friendship is easy. Our friendship has lasted 30 years. It's easy. You shouldn't have to work that hard to please a friend. Absolutely. It is too much. Yes, she was definitely clingy, and I can't take that. And it's like, if you have a clingy personality, that's fine. But if I don't, again, you got to meet me halfway. Yeah, those friendships are too exhausting. I don't even want that crap in a romantic relationship. Absolutely not. Because there are days like when Wallace worked in corporate America and I was doing my own thing and we worked together all the time. He never was like, babe, I ain't hear from you today, or you didn't even call me to check to make sure, how my day was going. Like, that's crazy. I'm busy. I see you at the house. Yes, it is not you. It's not you. I'm assuming that's what that thumbs up is about. But at the same time, like I said, accepting the support when someone is genuinely trying to support you, and you know the difference. When people are half-assing it based just on their actions compared to when someone is genuine. I just don't want us to miss out on support because we have unfair expectations. And I also don't want us missing out on supporting others because we haven't asked how we could support. Let's see, Tim. Sorry, I'm late. Have to get my car on the road by next Friday. Been work. Tim, no apologies necessary at all. You do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, take care of yourself. Take care of your business. I'm just glad you're here, and I appreciate you. But never feel like you have to apologize. Late. This ain't no paid gig. I'm just giving you tons and tons of good vibes and appreciation. So I appreciate you whenever you show up. So thank you so much. But yeah, we just have to make sure that we have a clear understanding of what type of expectations people can, what type of support people can give versus the type of support that we expect. And sometimes we miss out on support of people who are really out there trying to support us because we're so focused on who's not supporting us. But there's other people who are out there giving you their all and want to be there for you. And we miss that because, like they say, you can't see the forest for the trees or whatever. It's right there in front of you, people who want to give you the support, but you're so set on getting this from this exact person that you're missing out when somebody else is freely willing to give you that type of support, but you're so fixated on getting it from this person. And I could talk forever about that in romantic relationships, where sometimes people stay too long in the wrong relationship wanting something, and there's somebody else out there who has specifically been made to give that. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. I thank y'all so much for chiming in. If anybody else has any questions, comments, anything they want to share, I'm not going to stay on for the full. I absolutely will, Tim. He's in the other room with the grandbabies, which is why I'm kind of wrapping this up a little earlier than I normally would, because I want to get some quality time with the grand minis as well. It's Friday. I'm not usually live on Friday. So of course they felt like, yeah, we're going to stop over by May's house. And I actually forgot because I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have anything. Because literally today is the first day that I didn't have an event. And I had told my friend Tamara, I call her Tam. So I'm always forgetting whether it's Tamara or Tamara, because y'all probably like, if that's your friend, why you say Tamara and then say Tamara? So I always correct myself because I call her Tam. And she was on live with me. We were talking about content creation over the age of 50. If any of y'all saw that, I had told her I was going to meet her out this evening. And I completely forgot the grandbabies were coming over because I was so excited that this was one day where I didn't have any events. I wasn't teaching. I wasn't speaking anywhere. So I told everybody, yeah, like, yeah, I'm going to come meet you. And yeah, y'all can come over. I just overextended myself, but she understood. This is really good stuff. I'm glad I came in. Oh, thank you so much. It was good to see you. And thank you for being such a supporter and just being so kind to everybody out here in these YouTube streets. And so that's something else I want to say. For those of you who are content creators, feel free to share. And Tim, let's try this. Tim, can you drop Almost Homesteading's link in the chat? Because we're going to try out how this is. And then we have She Is Sunshine, who's in here. So if we can just drop their links in here. I'm trying to see if we had anybody else. I think, okay, and Tapped In. If we can drop those links. I'm just trying this out because I don't have Nightbot or whatever. And Tim was kind enough to volunteer to be a moderator for me. And I'll probably get some other moderators as we go along, because I definitely don't have the expectation for anyone to show up every single time because we always have lives. But I found out through Tim that moderators can drop those links. So, you know, if anybody's in here with the links. Okay, Almost Homesteading. Look at that, Tim. That is our first official moderator task. I love it because I always want to make sure that I am spreading the love, because it truly takes a village, and that's just not in child rearing. I love the fact Vonda said part of the L.Y.F.E tribe forever. Yes. So happy to have you all these years and being so supportive. But I know that I wouldn't be here without all of you, or I'd just be here talking to myself. And so, especially for those of you who are also content creators, I definitely want to make sure that I share my tribe with you, because I don't know everything. I don't do it everything. A lot of you are crafters, gardeners, natural hair gurus, whatever it is. I want to make sure that the L.Y.F.E tribe has the opportunity to explore some other channels. I'm never going to be a gatekeeper. I'm never going to be selfish with my people, because I truly believe that the more I give, the more I receive, and it is truly a blessing to be a blessing. So yeah, when y'all see those links in the chat, please feel free to explore those channels. Go subscribe, because as much as we just love, hey, Tamika, much as we just love creating content and sharing, this is also a business as well. And these platforms do pay, and they have certain, criteria where, every like counts for something, every watched hour, how long people stay on your channels. All of that matters. And so I want to be a part of helping people reach their goals. And so I want to share. And so, Tim, don't ever feel like you have to, but if you are in here and you have time and you see some of the content creators, because I know a lot of us know a lot of the same people, just feel free to drop their links. I'm never going to be opposed to that, because I truly believe that we're stronger together. And whatever it is that I might not be able to provide you as a content creator, one of my fellow content creators might be able to do that, because my thumb is not green at all. But we have some people on here who do have green thumbs. And so I will not be the one on here telling y'all how to grow your vegetables and all that stuff. So when it comes to the gardening, the homesteading, all that stuff, I'm not your girl. I watch their channels to get that information. So I wanted to make sure that I made that clear. But I do appreciate each and every one of you. Happy Friday to all of you. I hope that you have a wonderfully blessed weekend, spending time with the people who pour into your life, the people who keep your cup overflowing, the people who you have the relationships that serve you. That's what I want for each and every one of you. I can't wait to get busy planting my garden. Yeah, I've tried so many times, Tim. I may try to plant a couple of things. I'm not sure. Let me see. But you have the business knowledge that some of us gardeners need, so we balance each other out. Absolutely. It's all about harmony and balance. And that's why I want us all to be able to share our subscribers, because guess how much it costs to subscribe to a channel? Free 99. And that's not a sale. It's not a discount. That's how much it is all the time. So it doesn't cost anything to subscribe to a channel, give a thumbs up, show that support, because while it doesn't cost you all anything, it means the world to us, because that is how YouTube decides whether or not we're worthy of the YouTube dollars. Now, we already know our worth and our value, but if we want that little extra coin from somebody else, sometimes we got to play by their rules. And so that means a lot. And yes, please smash that like button if you haven't already, because YouTube looks at that. That means engagement. And so that lets them know to continue to push my content out. Together we win. Absolutely. It takes a village, and we not all need each other. And there are millions upon millions of people on YouTube in this world. There's definitely enough for all of us. So I'm going to quit running my mouth, but I love and appreciate you guys to bits and pieces. Thank you so much for being here, especially spending a part of your Friday evening with me. Again, not sure about tomorrow. I really, really, really wanted to show up every single day. But again, Wallace's aunt has a birthday tomorrow, and I think she's like in her 90s. It's a big birthday. And so we're going to be traveling out of town to go attend that. I wasn't originally going because I had a speaking engagement tomorrow afternoon that wasn't going to allow me to travel with him. So I knew that I would be here tomorrow at 7. But unfortunately, that engagement was canceled day before yesterday. And so my Saturday kind of opened up. So of course, my husband asked me to travel with him, and I'm definitely going to do that. But with me traveling tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be able to do our regularly scheduled live. I'll show up in some form or fashion, even if it's from my phone doing the new vertical live that's so big on YouTube. But I just don't know if I'll be able to sit down in this type of setting and talk about a full subject. So with that being said as well, if you weren't here in the beginning, I have a poll on my community tab where you can actually go and vote on what topic y'all want to talk about tomorrow. And if we don't talk about it tomorrow, we'll talk about it the next time. But that poll is still open. Birthdays like that or gifts. Yes, absolutely. And speaking of gifts, in and of itself as a birthday, I just got home before the live from shopping for her, and got her some cute little things, some cute little jammies. And then I got her the cutest little teacup that looks like a cloud, and then the saucer looks like a cloud. It's so cute. And then I got her the tea bags that actually have the blooms and everything in them. So they're the see-through mesh tea bags where you can actually see everything. So I thought that was kind of cute. So I just picked that up. And so, yeah, so that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. And so we will see. But go over to the community tab and vote on that. Share the live out. Tell your friends. Let's go ahead and build this life for tribe. So y'all know the drill. Always be kind. Always love one another, but never forget to live your life. L-Y-F-E. Love yourself first explicitly. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Happy weekend, y'all. Bye.
Living like a stage. Hey, hey. 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 Love yourself first, explicitly. You owe it to yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dream. Living like a stage. Hey, hey. Living like a stage.